On the 24th of March around 5:14 p.m., our family was informed via WhatsApp the birth of a new member in the family. It was sent to the family WhatsApp group. Unfortunately, Uncle Jackson never saw that message because at around 5:15 p.m. he said goodbye. But most of us in the family also didn't get to hear him in person. On this day, a new baby was born. At the same time, we lost an elder in the family. We have lost our Uncle Sisin. In life, he had a peculiar sense of humor. He was smart and logical. We wonder if it is a coincidence that he chose 24th March as his final day. On the very same day, the government announced further restriction of inter-district travel. He couldn't have timed his exit any better. Perhaps he timed it so that he could come home to Goshen, Kota Marudu. This video was made as our last respect to Jackson Gaban. We live in extraordinary times with COVID-19 closing in around us, so we have adapted his funeral service to fit our current situation. A simple ceremony where we avoid large gatherings and maintain social distance. So it's just a lean ceremony to mourn his passing. More important than that, to celebrate and show our gratitude for his life. So if you are watching this, thank you for joining us. Thank you for not coming to the funeral, and thank you for staying at home and praying at home. We believe that if Jackson was still alive, he would have wanted to come home. So the first stop for today is his house in Goshen. The church is closed in compliance to the MCO or movement control order from the government.
Pemborosan itu dia. Kalau kita kalau kirim naktal ini pembayar kita nggak habis sering ampeni itu sini. Dia di sini korok, kalau semua korok lagi itu tangga boleh cek 100 ringgit. Lain nanti kan dong. Jadi tinggal potong sini nggak. Aku di kalau misalnya tanuan, nah pilihan ku cek itu sini. Ramitan di kunak, patahakan di kunak di Molen. Siyo dia. Kapan ko nga talaga, pas kumasawang ko din, paano man siya? Pag-yung ako siya, seling nga na punong yan, kaahit siya. Nga, kinapatang pinilitan ko katahuri. Sa kailan, isa sa sirahan, nakapipil. Yala na ako nakilam siya, yala, nakapanulong tang pinay nun. Tampinay ay sanan tampinay no kusay bando anak ko panulungay dia ada nakos ay prosle nasarahan na kapiyaki pabulusan ko dia tinapawalay no tinay no walay no nga imolay mo tikano tinawan tayo no kumano dia tada namo to itinati poras ko ina pa susayan yala na dia magibabaras. Okay, nakalukisin sumonong nakisin forward na ginawa ko nga siya kaya dahil itu memang yakin yung ngayon ngayon may gito lang may kanado yung tong na kaya din siya siya din siya no di pan lihat siya din Assan ko ba
After this 5 minutes, then 2 minutes, 1 minute silence, then ritual.
Just a short silent prayer at his home. Before we go to the cemetery in Tagas, we have another important stop to make. We didn't plan for a large crowd to come to his funeral service. By the time the van reached the cemetery, friends and family members were already there, ready to help. The pastor as well as church elders already on standby.
Yang ditimpa kesedihan, kesusahan tiba pada hari ini, dan sebab suasana ataupun keadaan arahan kerajaan sekarang, maka kita sama-sama ikuti peraturan yang ditetapkan, dan begitu juga tentunya kita harus adakan di gereja, tapi oleh karena keadaan sekarang ini, jadi kita tidak di gereja, kita terus pergi ke sini. Dan kita juga mohon maaf jika tidak ada suasana salam menyalam atau pembangunan dari kapitulan. Tapi saya percaya Tuhan lebih mengerti keperluan dan Tuhan lebih mengerti keadaan yang menimpa keluarga ini pada saat ini. Jadi sebelum kita berdoa bersama, mari kita nyanyi satu lagu. Dan banyak lagu. Tapi ada handphone juga kan? Oke. Ada cadangan. Sekarang kita serahkan kepada adik-adik keluarga. Jauhkan kami daripada segala kesalahan, gangguan yang akan kita. Biar kami senantiasa untuk mengingatkan kepada-Nya. Kalau Allah berbunyi, maka Tuhan sendiri akan turun dari surga, dan mereka yang mati dalam Kristus akan lebih dahulu bangkit. Sesudah itu kita yang hidup
yang masih tinggal akan diangkat bersama-sama dengan mereka dalam awan menyongsong Tuhan di angkasa. Demikianlah kita akan selama-lamanya bersama-sama dengan Tuhan. Karena itu, hiburkanlah seorang akan yang lain dengan perkataan ini.
Jackson Assan Gaban is the son of Assan Gaban and Kupi Majinga. His exact birth date is unknown, but 30th December 1949 is probably quite close to the actual date. A week after he was born, his elder brother, Hammer, passed away. Medical facilities were not really good in the past, so he was the sixth child that was born to his mother, but in the line of siblings that survived childhood, he is considered as the fourth child. When the early pioneers came to Goshen in 1950s, he was one of the children that boarded the ship from Jesselton to Bandau. He became the elder brother to another 6 children and stepbrother to another 8 siblings. He received his early education at Goshen Adventist School, and later, when he was adopted by the Chief Minister of Sabah, Tun Fuad Donald Stevens, he studied at La Salle School and became part of the Stevens family household. After completing his secondary school education at La Salle School, Jesselton, in 1968 he returned to Goshen in Kota Marudu. He did this to fulfill his promise to his mother Kupi before her untimely demise on 5th of March 1965. He spent most of his life as an ordinary farmer, but he was not without an extraordinary mind. He was an avid reader. His friends often said that when he was immersed in a book, he would forget everything else. He was a lifelong learner. He pursued his interests and studied various subject matter. Few people knew that at the end of his life, he completed writing 2 books. He spent more than 10 years researching and writing his books. He had a deep passion for Sabah's history, and that became the focus of his books. He moved to Kuala Lumpur and lived there for several years to tackle the first part of his book research. For the second part, he returned to Sabah and then traveled widely throughout the state to gather information from the people in the interior. His research and travels resulted in the birth of 2 books. The first book is a historical research endeavor, and the other one is a play or a script. You can also call it as a screenplay, consisting of 19 acts, of a story that he wrote about the history of his people. As a person, he truly and deeply loves his culture and identity as a native of Sabah, and this is reflected in his writings. In both books, Bukit Sagang Kota Marudu is featured and was the impetus that helped him start his journey as a writer. Thus, in this way, he was a true son of Kota Marudu. Jackson Gaban lived a simple life on his own terms. He remained single, but he was loved by all in the family. He is remembered fondly by his family, his siblings, his friends, his nephews and nieces, and grandnephews and grandnieces. When asked one day if he regretted not having a legacy in the form of his own children, he said he has very little to regret for. He pointed at the 2 books that he wrote and said, "Perhaps these books will be my legacy for the future." The last few years of his life, Jackson Gaban went into retirement, but he never left agriculture activity completely. He jokingly described his farming activities in his later years as "untuk kasih panas itu badan sahaja," or as warm-up exercise only. Around this time, he also succumbed into several periods of sicknesses and sometimes being bedridden for an extended period of time. In 2019, his heart condition became more serious and required extensive care. His younger sister took him in and cared for him at her home in Kaliangau, Manggatal, till his final days. On 24th March 2020 at 5:15 p.m., he breathed his last in the company of his sister Molen and her children. He was taken back to Goshen, Kota Marudu and laid rest next to his father's grave at Kampung Tagas, Kota Marudu. Jackson Gaban is sorely missed by his siblings and his siblings' families. Expressing their eternal love for their brother are as follows: Salim, Ninis, Molen, Ellen, Johnson, Dixon, Willin, Patricia, Solin, Honey, Echkol Sail, Artini, Arvidin, Shobal, Arikson, Toby, and Rohaida. Sisin, you will be forever in our thoughts and memories.
Kita senantiasa memanjatkan syukur dan terima kasih kepada Tuhan, karena pasti Dialah yang senantiasa bersama dengan kehidupan kita. Dan apa yang telah terjadi kepada saudara kita ini, saya pasti itu adalah satu kasih sayang Tuhan untuk merehatkan saudara kita ini daripada segala bebanan kehidupan dia selama ini. Tuhan mengerti yang terbaik bagi manusia. Kita tidak paham semuanya kehendak Tuhan. Tetapi apabila Tuhan izinkan seseorang itu direhatkan, itu adalah karena kasih sayang Tuhan, karena dia mengerti yang terbaik untuk kehidupan manusia. Dan selebihnya daripada kehidupan ini adalah kita serah sepenuhnya kepada Tuhan, karena dialah yang memegang kehidupan manusia dan keselamatan manusia. Apa yang kita harapkan, kita yang masih hidup ini, khususnya keluarga yang terdekat, Tuan Molen, Patricia, dan seluruh sanak saudara yang lain, Sio Kumata Payung, tabakan hati. Lagu tadi sudah mengingatkan kita, saya percaya itu adalah salah satu lagu yang diminati oleh mendiang mungkin dari dulu lagi, bahwa kalaulah itulah kerinduan dia, maka pasti dia rindu pada kerajaan Tuhan. Dan satu masa nanti akan terjadi pertemuan yang tidak ada perpisahan lagi. Itu adalah di dalam kehendak dan kuasa Tuhan. Kita serahkan sepenuhnya di dalam kuasa Tuhan. Apa yang kita harapkan sekarang ini adalah penghiburan daripada semua kita. Kita yang sudah melihat peristiwa ini, ingat saudara-saudara, ini terjadi kepada kita. Namun kita tidak pernah akan takut menghadapi ini apabila kita sudah bersedia. Karena ayat sudah mengatakan tadi bahwa suatu masa nanti mereka yang sudah mati di dalam Tuhan Yesus Kristus akan mulai dibangkitkan. Dan di sanalah kita akan dapat bertemu muka dengan muka tanpa perpisahan lagi. Hidup selamanya bersama dengan Tuhan dan orang yang kita kasihi. Jadi saudara-saudara, apa yang kita harus lakukan saat ini adalah mari kita relakan jenazah ini untuk kita kebumikan pada saat ini. Dan biarlah kita yang masih hidup, mari kita teruskan kehidupan kita dengan normal dan menjaga kehidupan kita, bukan saja kesehatan fisikal kita, tetapi terlebih rohani kita. Karena kematian itu boleh terjadi bila-bila saja kepada manusia. Tapi yang penting, semua kita sudah bersedia untuk itu. Mati di dalam Tuhan. Dan mati di dalam Tuhan ada pengharapan, ada kebangkitan kekal di dalam kerjaan Tuhan nanti. Terima kasih. Kiranya firman yang singkat ini sangat ringkas, sekurang-kurang dapat memberikan terus pengharapan dan kekuatan bagi kita untuk terus bersandar sepenuhnya kepada Tuhan. ini doa saya. Oke. Saudara kita ini direhatkan buat sementara. Serahkan kepada Assan.
Ini ada acara kebaktian sempena memperingati, kita akan buat selepas arahan pengurangan pergerakan lah, dan pihak keluarga akan menentukan di mana-mana tempat yang mereka pilih. Terima kasih.
Lama kau buka tuh kemah tuh? Kalau cepat kita ambil gambar tanpa kemah, beli kah?
Begini, kita berdoa dulu.
Oh oke, siap.
Lepas berdoa, kalau kita mau buka pun tidak buka pun tidak.
Baik, terima kasih kepada semua yang terlibat di dalam penyempurnaan kebumian ini. Saat ini sebelum kita beribadah, mari kita berdoa sekali lagi. Mari kita semua. Bapa kami yang bertakhta di surga, terima kasih Tuhan di atas pemeliharaan penjagaan-Mu. Kebumian ini sudah selesai pada saat ini. Sebentar lagi kami akan bersurai dari tempat ini. Kami memohon ya Tuhan, Engkau akan beserta dalam perjalanan setiap kami, baik yang ada di sini maupun yang kembali ke Natal ataupun di mana saja untuk Sabah ini. Terima kasih di atas penyertaan sehingga semua selamat tiba di tujuan masing-masing. Demikian penghiburan yang tidak pernah putus dari surga untuk setiap keluarga, senantiasa menaungi mereka sehingga mereka akan terus diteguhkan dan dikuatkan dan senantiasa mendapat kekuatan daripada Tuhan. Terima kasih Tuhan, karena Engkau juga akan mengutus malaikat untuk terus memelihara tempat ini sehingga kuasa-kuasa iblis apapun yang jahat tidak pernah ambil kesempatan untuk melakukan kejahatan ataupun hal yang boleh memudaratkan manusia. Terima kasih Tuhan, karena Engkau sudah mendengar doa ini. Hamba mohon hanya di dalam nama-Mu, Yesus Tuhan Juru Selamat kami. Amin.
Jadi ambil lagi lah dari dengan tugas itu no yo ben yo kiri ke kuyatnya berhubungan adalah mengatur dengan sempurna. Terima kasih banyak atas itu. Sebelum pada menau nggak ngambil nih 200 Tuhan bagi gambar apa? Terima kasih.